Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Combo League podcast. We are in week 14, getting very, very close to the end of the season. People fighting for these spots and everything else. As you can see, we are starting on this last week's Player of the Weeks, but like as always, I am your host, Avengers. Alongside me is our other host, Lima.
What's up, guys? Great to be back for this next episode of the podcast. This is our second video for the week. We'll be uh, we'll be doing another part of recap for last week, and then also doing our predictions for this next week.
Yes, if you didn't watch our last video, I'd advise you go see it if you like seeing recaps. Us just talking about stats and seeing if we were right or wrong about wins or losses, and who did the best in those wins, or even if they did the best, even losing a game. But there are going to be two parts. Thank you for the suggestions from the people who watch these videos to split these up. So, as we said, weekly awards. Latavius Murray again being the NFC Offensive Player of the Year, or of the week. 24 carries, 255 rushing yards, 10.6 rush average, 3 rushing touchdowns, a reception for 1 yard. But here's the new people: Eli Apple being the NFC Defensive Player with 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, and both those interceptions were pick sixes.
Yeah, so that was obviously player of the week worthy for the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, yes, and I love to see new people, and I think Lima does too, to see new people taking these Player of the Weeks.
Yeah, it's good to see people doing different things each week and different people coming in and winning these awards.
Now, here's a new AFC Offensive Player. QB for the Miami Dolphins, Andrew Luck, 17 for 28, 466 passing yards, 5 passing touchdowns, only 1 interception, sacked 3 times with 1 fumble. And the AFC defense is Eric Rowe from the Patriots, 5 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 interceptions. I just love that defensive look by corners.
Yeah. And I also want to say, not only is it nice seeing different people in here, but it's nice seeing people that you wouldn't usually expect to be here. Like Eli Apple and even Eric Rowe, you usually wouldn't expect to see them in Player of the Weeks.
Alright.
So good performances by them.
But now on to what we all come and see. What do our standings look like going into Week 14? As always, the Panthers, since we're in Week 14, number 1 in the league still, clinching the playoff spot. First round bye for them. I think that's what the Y means, right? They have the first
The
round
Y
bye.
is just division.
Division? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And as we come down to number 5, where the Vikings have sat pretty much this whole entire season, they've also clinched their division. So even if they lose the next 4 games, 3 or 4 games, they're going to clinch their division. Jets still not clinching the division yet, with the Patriots right behind them, but I see them winning. They are 11-1, stayed at pretty much the number 2 spot, alongside the Cowboys and Steelers at 3-4. Which I see with the Steelers, because they're still saying our division has a chance if he loses his games, but I want to say that Scorpio's going to clinch our division.
Yeah, and every single time we look at these standings, we just say the same thing, and it's the same top 5 people every week. So I want to say good job to them. Staying at the top of the league and
Uh,
keeping the top 5 the same
yeah.
for throughout the season, really.
But as you can see, the Patriots are 9-3, only 2 wins behind the Jets. 49ers are there, still trying to fight with a profit for that. The Seahawks, who are at number 12 with a 7-5, but it's anybody's game in that division. Redskins at 8-4, I'm at 8-4, and Giants and Chiefs both 7-5. Yeah, you're 7-5. So are the Falcons and Bills and Browns. So anything can happen still with these last 4 games. Uh, we're AFC North like always. One of the,
Yeah,
I have to say, one of the toughest divisions to play in for our league, consisting of
yeah,
Scorpio, me, and Justin Maldo.
Yeah, and from the looks of it, this division, it's a tough division, but honestly, I think the Steelers have this locked down because he does have the two-game lead, but with the way he's been playing, those two games are going to be really hard to
Yeah.
capture for you.
Oh yeah.
But
Which,
yeah, so I do see him clinching this division.
but it's still anybody's game for who comes in second and making a wild card round playoff spot for our
Yeah,
division. AFC South is your division. I think one of the closest divisions so far.
yeah, it's
Uh,
you can say it's one of the closest, but it's not one of the best by far.
uh, you at 7-5 with only a one game over the Colts and only two games over the Titans. Which I only really see it between you and the Colts for the last four games, unless for some miracle something happens to the Colts and you to step down and the Titans to take over.
Yeah, I think like you said, it's really going to come down to me, the Jaguars, and the Colts, and we still play each other one more time, and I actually play the Texans twice still to come. So there are a lot of divisional games coming up for me.
Yeah. AFC East, another the Jets and the Patriots. Jets on a two game, but I see him clinching this, staying at pretty much. I think he was at the number three spot, but he moved up to the number two spot for the rest of this season. 11-1. I really don't see him stepping down and losing that division.
Yeah, I don't see anything changing in this division really. The Patriots are most likely going to get one of the wild card spots, but yeah, I don't see him taking over the division title.
AFC West, another close division, but the Chiefs really, I see them, even though not the best team around, but they've come back and after their season has been.
Yeah. I think that I also agree with you. I think the Chiefs are going to take this division, but I mean, really, if you're the Chargers or the Raiders, I wouldn't be looking at it that way quite yet. I mean, you still
Yeah,
got chances, and I'm sure the Chiefs has to play in the division a couple times before the season's over. So
we'll
if you're
see.
in this division, you got to be hopeful to take them down. So it's
I
still
think he's
can be
played
done.
the Raiders um, twice already. Lost one, won one. So they're the Raiders no longer have a chance to knock him down. Uh, but I think the Chargers and Broncos still do.
Actually, looking at it, he only has one division game left to play, and it's against the Broncos. So the Raiders and the Chargers are going to be big fans of the Broncos coming up here.
Yeah, because even if it doesn't really help the Broncos, it will help them trying to take over the uh, the division title. And then the NFC North, whew, just not a. There's nothing there except
Yeah,
for
that was an automatic clinch there for the Vikings. And looking down, you see Vikings ranked at 5, and then the rest of it isn't even close. 22, 24, and 32.
maybe next year they can come back and maybe Debo won't win their division.
Yeah, well, hopefully
NFC
it's a little closer than that.
Well, we can say the same thing about the NFC South. Panthers clinching at the number one undefeated streak they've been on. Falcons 7-5, probably making a wild card round, but not coming back and winning the division.
Yeah. I think next season this division will be a little closer once, just because the Falcons, this was his first season and he's still getting in the loop of things. I think he comes back next season. I'm not saying he wins the division for sure, but I think he is going to put some more pressure on you, boy.
Yeah. NFC East, one of the most talked about divisions we've had. Cowboys, Redskins, and Giants. I think last week we actually were trying to count out the Giants, either making a wild card round or maybe winning over the division. Do we still see that?
Um, I I can see him still getting a wild card spot. He's at 7-5. He's had some tough games this season, but I think 2 weeks in a row with really good games. Or actually, it was just this last week. But yeah, he could still make a playoff spot for sure. And also going over to divisional record, you see that the Cowboys still have to play in the division 2 more times, and he's only got a 2-game lead over the Redskins, so that
Yeah.
could really help the Redskins out. And also the Giants has to play in the division 2 more times, so really it could be favorable for the Giants having to play in the division 2 more times.
Yeah. Redskins still having one division game. I wonder who those are against, because that could come out to be either a great one or a bad one, depending on who they play.
Yeah.
And our last but not least, the NFC West. Whew. Prophet having his ups and downs all season, but still only 2 games behind the 49ers. Only 2. Do we say he still has a chance to clinch the NFC West with 4 games left on the line?
Um, he's got the slight chance, but I'm gonna say that it's gonna be the 49ers winning this division.
Because they
But
they both only have one more division game to play. One division game to play. They're both 4-1, 4 wins, 1 loss.
yeah, but he definitely does have the chance to make the wild card spot. Because if you look at the NFC, there's 4 teams fighting for the 2 wild card spots. You got 1 team in the NFC West, 2 in the NFC East, and 1 in the South. And actually, there's only 1 team with a better record, and it is the Redskins at 8-4, 8-4, having the 5 spot right now. And you got 3 teams all tied at 7-5. So really, anything can happen with those 3 teams getting that 6th spot.
Yeah.
And honestly, um, you know, I don't see the Redskins falling out of the wild card spot, but it is still possible because he only has a 1-game lead over 3 teams with
Yeah.
4 games remaining.
And that is a big, big thing for the NFC right now, trying to get that wild card round. Falcons playing
Yeah,
well. Prophets playing well. Giants they're all coming back. They're all trying to play as best as they can for either 2 teams trying to get the wild card or just one, depending on how the Redskins play for the rest of the 4 games. But as you said, NFC, one of the really the harder teams to play because of just how the teams are already panned out. And 7-5s, man, that's what's gonna get you 4 games.
yeah. So this is going to be really interesting looking at the NFC wildcard picture moving forward in these last 4 weeks.
And we will see that whew, for that week, that podcast. I think that's gonna be a big podcast to see uh, who made it and who didn't, who fell off the charts.
Yeah. And moving forward to the schedule for this week, you
Week
see
four.
the first game is sorry the first game is the Redskins and the Chiefs, which this could be an interesting game because you see the Chiefs only coming in within 1 score of the Jets last week, almost taking him down, and the Redskins playing some good football lately. This could be a really interesting game to watch, and
Because both of them only 1 game ahead of everybody else in either their conference or division. Both are
yeah,
trying.
and
The Chiefs are trying to cement their division win, and the Redskins trying to keep over 3 other teams, as we just mentioned, to get a playoff
yeah.
spot.
And the Redskins are 1 game above, like we said earlier, the other 3 wildcard teams, and the Chiefs is only 2 games ahead in the division. So whoever loses this game really
Oof.
gives a step up to other people, to other teams.
But like it always comes down to every week, who do we say is gonna win this? Lima.
I would say that the Redskins are going to come out on top in this one. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to give it to the Redskins.
Well, tell us why. What in the Redskins gives them the edge up over the Chiefs for this week?
I think he plays a little more balanced football. He can defend against the run and the pass, and he's also good on offense too. Whereas, like the
Yeah,
Chiefs, he's
and the Redskins, like you said, he's balanced, but he does have Gooch, who's been in the running for like every award. And as we've mentioned all year, the Chiefs having one of the worst uh, run defense, and the Redskins loving to run the ball.
yeah. So I do see the Redskins coming out on this one, but still could be anybody's game, and both have a lot riding on this game. So I think both are going to give it their all.
I've been doing this all season, and everybody knows it, but I always go with the Chiefs. I I've grown to like the team and how they played, so I'm gonna have to try to give this one to the Chiefs and give them a step up, just because they are a good pass defense team, so they can probably stop passing from the Redskins. And if they do that, and the Redskins do not have Jordan Reed, Jordan Reed's going to be out for this game. So one of their top threats, uh, and I think Crowder's out too. So that's two threats on the passing side. So if you limit them to the run and you can stop that run, I think he has this game in the bag.
Yeah, well, it'll definitely be an interesting game.
Oh yeah, like you said, it's going to be a close game. Both have a lot riding on this one game before going into Week 15.
Yeah. And then moving on to the next one, you see that it already has been started, but they're still playing, so we don't know what's happening. So we can still say who we think is going to win.
I have to give this to the Panthers. Your boy, uh,
Yeah.
like we've said in a cut from the past couple weeks, has a running back now, has a stacked team, defense and offense, and he's got his running back now, so he can become a better runner, have a better run game, and he's undefeated. His undefeated record, not just because he's undefeated, he's had a lot of close games, but he still comes out on top. He finds a way to get around people's defense. Have to give this one
Yeah.
to your boy.
Yeah, and I have to agree with everything you said there. He's got his running back. He's already good passing the ball, so giving him a running back just gives him more of a dual threat, and he's good on defense. So hands down Panthers in this one.
Packers at Lions. Packers trying to come back, has some stuff because it is the end of the year and then family and stuff, but the Lions and Packers not really having a great season just because either not being here or like joining late or something. Who do we still give this one to? I had
I'm gonna give
my
this one to the Packers.
the Packers. I had a
These,
really close game with the Lions in my first week. Really gave me a run for my money to get that win. But as you said, the Packers do have a good team.
yeah, and he's has been playing much as of lately because he's been really busy. But he is a good player, so his record doesn't reflect on how he is as a player.
I
So
would agree with that. I would have to really agree with that one. But just because how close some of these games, Thomas the Tiger, the Lions have been with a lot of people, I would have to give them how he plays defense can stop a lot of plays. So I have to give that to him.
yeah. All right. Next game is a CPU involved game, so we're not gonna really talk much about that one
Unless, yeah. Sorry, Lil
unless we
Killa.
get a easy.
And then your game
Yeah.
versus Texans, he hasn't been playing. We all know that. I think he's trying to tank the season because he came in
Yeah.
really, really late. He just came in, 2, 3 weeks ago. So like week 11, week 12, he came in.
Yeah. And I really don't want to take the force in this one, especially because it's a division game, and my division is so close that one win or loss could affect the division greatly. So I
Yeah.
don't think it's fair to the other people in my division for me to take the force. So I'm really going to try and get him to play this game. And yeah, like I said, I just don't want to take the force in this one.
Raiders at Jets. Slow it down, man. That passing game has been killing people, even if they have a good passing defense. And even if he plays bad, he still gets things going on that passing game.
Yeah.
So,
Um, I wanna I'm gonna say the Jets in this one, but I think it's gonna be closer than people think
yeah.
because the Raiders he's still not out of the playoffs yet. He's still fighting for a spot, and if the Chiefs lose and he wins, he's only a game behind the Chiefs. So he's definitely not out of it yet. And his quarterback is hurt, but I still think he's gonna bring fight in this one and make it kind of close.
Uh, and another thing, I don't. Yeah, we can give it the Jets, but if we've looked at his games, his stats, and his sack differential from other teams, he gets plenty of sacks. And if his team can turn those sacks into fumbles, into fumble recoveries, and maybe defensive touchdowns, or just getting close to slow it down side of the field, he might have it. He can get a bigger chance. Like, he's had a lot of sacks, and as you've seen, he's had a lot of games where he's not gotten sacked, but he's sacked the other side 4 to 6 times.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the threats on defense to get those sacks, and really, honestly, both teams can get sacks with their defensive line slash pass rush abilities.
And my game, I'm gonna be playing hard for this game only because for a playoff, not just a playoff spot, but since my division has been so close, win or loss could really either take me out or put me even closer to a playoff spot, and it's a divisional game against a new user. So I don't know how he plays from the last user, so I'm going to have to really try to change up uh, my side of the field.
Yeah, um, I I think this is going to be kind of a close game because I have seen him play before, and he's kind of close to you skill level wise. So I want to say this is going to be a close game, but I think you are going to take this
Oh, so
game
you're
because of the way
saying
you want to fight.
you're saying I'm ass for the same skill level? We're both ass.
Yeah, because he's Mr. Ass. So if he's the same skill level as you, then you're ass too. No, no, but the way that you're fighting for the playoffs still, I'm gonna say you're gonna
Because
want this one
him,
more. So you're gonna come out and
even
take
if it
it.
doesn't help him out, it does help Justin Maldo or anybody else that's trying to fight, like the Raiders or the Chargers. Uh, Giving anybody a chance in the AFC to get a playoff spot over me, just if he beats me.
Yeah. All
Cardinals,
right, and then the
yeah.
next one, yeah, we do have the Cardinals and the Eagles. Who do
Car-
you think gets the win in this one? Because both teams haven't played that well.
well, we can't really say anything about the Eagles because he did come in with a team that was already. I think he just came in week 12,
Yeah, that's
so he's
true.
only played like 2 games, and the team was already like 2-8 or 1-9 or something. So I can't really say how he's played. He's made some pretty close games in the last 2 of his games. Cardinals likes to play a lot of offense. He's a really offensive player. So if the Eagles can stop that offensive side of the ball, I think he'll have a bigger chance of winning this.
Yeah. Um, I I know you can't really make an accurate prediction in this game, not knowing the Eagles that well, but I'm gonna say that the Cardinals are gonna come out and win this one because he did play fairly well on offense this last week, scoring
Yeah,
42 points. And 42 points, is if you told me he was gonna score 42 points in that game, you could say you probably thought he was gonna win that one. So
so yeah.
um, I think if he scores that again, he'll win this game.
It's going to be a bird fight. Do the Cardinals or Eagles come out on this one?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, this
This
next game,
this
though.
this next one could be really interesting.
Because Debo, even if Debo loses, it doesn't affect him in his division. But for young sniper, for the Falcons, this is do or die time for a
Yeah.
playoff spot. Like we've
Now,
said before,
Debo,
3 teams
yeah,
fighting for that playoff spot in the NFC. So if he
Debo
goes,
does have something riding on this game though. He's actually trying to get a first round bye, and as of right
mm,
now, he's third in the NFC, so he doesn't have the first round bye clinched.
yes, that's right. Because Keon, even though he hasn't clinched his division, he has a better record and has a chance to clinch a first round bye over Debo. So I have to give this one
Yeah,
to Debo just because of Latavius Murray,
yeah,
as y'all have all seen. Always a big game for him and his defense. He plays in some weird defenses, but they work for him.
yeah. Um, this is a really tough game to call, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say the underdog Falcons gets this one done. He's got too much to risk in this game to lose, even though he's tied with even though he's in a three-way tie for that sixth spot in the NFC. He can't lose this game, and he knows that. So I think he's gonna
Uh,
go out there and
but
play
for
his
a,
hardest,
but for a
and
lot
I
of
really think he's
teams,
barely gonna get it done.
yeah. But for a lot of teams, for a lot of people that play in any kind of league, be it any sports game or anything, or any game at all that's you play other people, you know when you have so much writing on something, you start making mistakes.
Yeah, you know, it kind of brings out, or it kind of shows what type of player you are. If you're gonna crack under pressure, or if you're gonna do really well and under pressure and become a clutch player. So we'll really get to see how the Falcons is gonna do in that pressure situation. But making my prediction, I am gonna say he barely gets the job done in this one.
Uh, Rams at 49ers. 49ers all the way. Been playing like a beast this entire season.
Yeah,
Not the best team around, but he makes it work for him. Nothing really
yeah.
else to say about that. K Cousin trying to play, but you know he's trying to go for a pick right now.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you there. I do want to bring up their division race. I I think the 49ers, like he's gonna win the division, but he doesn't want to mess around. He wants to get it done as quickly as possible. So for him to lose this game would really hurt and give a lot of hope to the second place Seahawks, which is Profit. So I think he does not want to lose this game at all. So he's gonna go out there, play his hardest, and he's gonna get this one.
Here's another big one for you. Chargers at Titans. Both in two different divisions. Same conference, two different divisions. Both trying to fight for either a playoff spot or trying to clinch a division. Both being super close. Both 2 games behind him, 2 games behind you. Chargers 2 games behind Dalmid, the Chiefs.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, if the Chargers win and the Chiefs lose, the Chargers are one game back. And same with the Raiders. If they win and the Chiefs lose, they're one game back too, as we said earlier.
And if you
So
lose this week and BG, the Titans decides to win, he's only 1 game behind you.
exactly.
So, but I'd have to give this to MP Tiger Pride. Not because of more wanting it more, but he has played very well, even though his his record doesn't show it. But he's trying, he's fighting. I want to give this to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I agree with you there. He's doing everything he can. I think he does go out there and pull this one out. He's been playing good on offense, and I think he's going to get this job done.
Well, it looks like Prophet has decided to come out and play, and you're gonna might be still a game ahead.
Yeah, that takes some of the pressure off of me. We'll get more into this game next week,
Yeah.
but it does take some of
And
the
then
pressure off of
another
me.
CPU game where right now don't we have somebody who's supposed to be joining as the Bills pretty soon?
Um, yeah,
So hopefully that joins. I don't know if they're gonna be better than last year because I don't think anybody could really replace Lehigh after what he did with the Bills.
yeah, I agree with you there.
All right, so Browns at Steelers, a big divisional game for our
Yeah, and I
division.
want to I want to point out the Steelers are first place in this division, but actually the first time these two played, the Browns won this game.
Yeah. But in a lot of their division games or rival games in leagues, it's always 1-1. Justin Model
Yeah,
winning one and Scorpio winning one. So, but this can go either way on both sides. Be it
yeah,
Scorpio
and a lot
loses.
both. Go ahead.
Scorpio loses and I win, it gives me even closer to maybe clinching our division, or
Yeah,
just a motto, or Scorpio actually winning, putting Justin Maldo even further behind and giving me a chance
yeah,
to stay above.
and both teams really have a lot riding on this one, with you
Oh yeah.
only being,
Uh,
with you being so close to the Steelers in this one. So he doesn't want to lose this game, but also on the Brown side, if he loses this game, he's almost out of the playoffs. I don't want to say he's for sure out, but
yeah.
sitting at 7-5 now, for him to lose this game, putting him at 7-6, he'd almost have to win out to have a chance.
Giants
So
at
he's not really going to want to lose this one, but I
yeah,
am going to say the Steelers comes out and wins this
and
game and evens the
and
series at 1-1.
yeah, I think so because that's how it's always been, no matter who you vote for. But I want to give this to the Steelers. I'm sorry, my boy Justin, but I have to give this one to the Steelers. And it really sucks, like we've been talking. It sucks being the middleman, being so close to both sides, and it can
Yeah,
go either way. Because I still have to play Justin Maldo. I still have to play him
I
again.
do
I won
too.
our first game, but I could still lose this second game. So I'm going to be playing really hard. Hopefully it's not raining because we're going to be in Cleveland for this second game. Hopefully it's not going to be raining on us or really windy, because that really affects who wins and who loses.
And then second to last game of the week, another divisional game with the Giants and the
Whew.
Cowboys. The Giants are one of those teams tied at 7-5 for that wild card spot,
Yes, they
and
are.
the Cowboys have I want to say 2 game lead in the division, so they don't can't afford to lose this one either.
Yeah.
Um, so it's basically same scenario as the game before this one. Both teams have a lot riding. I do want to say the Cowboys are going to come out there and get this one.
I'm gonna say the Cowboys, but I'm really leaning towards Julio in this one. He did play really well last week, but not just that. He's got a lot. He's got even more riding on this than Keon does. Keon's riding this for a first round bye, but Julio's riding on this for getting a playoff spot. This is Julio's chance to move up and maybe, hopefully, win a playoff spot. Because since,
Yeah,
as we saw, we didn't want to see, but Prophet won, so it puts him at 8-5. And if Young Sniper loses, it's up to Julio to win this game to be also tied with Prophet for another spot and
yeah,
trying to beat
and these
Prophet out.
two these two teams actually play each other again in Week 17, so this is only their first time playing each other this season.
Yeah.
Just wanted to point that out. But so for the Giants to get in the playoffs, he's definitely going to have to win at least one of those games.
And not but last but not least, Dolphins at Patriots. Dolphins not having a lot riding on this, but Patriots are actually, with them only one game ahead of me for the fifth spot for a playoff division.
Yeah,
If he
and he's
loses and I win, it ties us again,
yeah,
and it could
and
go either way.
he's really not out of it for the division yet. He's only 2 games back. So really, if the Jets lose, he could step in still. If he wins this game, he'd only be 1 game back, which would be big for him.
Yeah,
And, so yeah, but I do think that the Patriots are going to come out there and win that one.
I do too. But maybe Willie P comes out and has a game like last week where Andrew Luck throws 5 touchdowns and 1 pick again.
All right, well, that was our last game for the this week, so that wraps things up. And I want to say again, thank you to everyone who's watching. Thank you to our subscribers and our likes. It really means a lot to us. Um, like we always say, if you have anything that you want to recommend us doing, just let us know. And you know how to contact us. We're always here, so we want to hear what you think. So just let us know.
And as always, people, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, please hit that like button. If you don't like it, hit that dislike button and tell us in the comments why. What did we do wrong or what we can make better for you to change your answer to that like button. And as always, I am your host. I'm your host, Avengers. Alongside me is our other host, Lima.
And thank you for tuning into this episode, and have a good week, and we will see you next week.